Welcome back to Rimshots with Sean, and I will tell you, Tom Bona here with us. This idea kind of brew out of, drummers are getting a raw deal on this whole thing, where, I guess one performer on stage is fine, but any more than that, I don't know. Dr. Strang, help me out, throw me a line, brother. I don't know what you're doing with me, but anyway. So somebody said, well, start giving the drummer some love. So here you are. So you're like me. I mean, you get to play a few shows. I mean, I think I got 12 or 13 under my belt before. It was a weird year. Yeah. Certainly, the year before I got 80 some odd shows. Were you able to play? I mean, you came out and played. Was it my birthday that you came out to play, or you came out and we were doing a benefit or something?
Michelle's birthday, I think.
That's what it was. Yeah. And you got up and you did a whole set.
A couple of tunes, yeah. Innocence, I remember.
Yeah.
The Harlequin.
So you've been playing much live? Well, you're playing with Miles, right?
I'm playing with Miles Goodwin at the Blues Project.
Yeah.
We were doing lots of jamming until the new COVID things kind of came in, and he had some surgery, so he was just kind of quiet for a little while. But we still, he brought 2 Ludwig kits down from Montreal when he sold his house.
Nice.
And he called me from Montreal. He got me on Facebook, and he's like, yeah, should I get rid of these or whatever? And I could see, like, Ludwig 60s. Yeah. Somebody, I'm like, no, you should put those in your van and bring them down.
Yeah.
I said, because those are way better drums than you already have in your studio.
Sure.
So we transitioned those drums, and I took them home, cleaned them all up, put all new heads on them. And now they're all set up. So now we're still just about in the phase we're going to start going after more of his next blues record that he wants to make.
Yeah. And it was funny. We did some Haywire shows, and he was out on the Saturday night. And unbeknownst to us, he was in the crowd when we did Roller. And he came up to me and he said, man, you guys did a great job. And I was like, geez, I hope we didn't insult you. And he's like, no, not at all. And everybody was like, he really loved it. So thanks a lot for that, Miles. And so that's cool. So you're doing a little bit of that. But we're kind of getting into the gear. So you're a Pearl guy.
I'm a Pearl guy.
Why don't you tell all our folks what you're currently playing?
Well, currently what I'm playing is a Pearl 6-piece.
Okay.
For the last 15 years, I've been using a Pearl 4-piece, 4-ply mahogany.
Okay. Which is rare.
Which is rare. It's more like the old style.
Yeah.
It's a custom kit. I had Pearl make it for me.
Okay.
It's piano black, and it's 24, 12, and a 16. And I've got the 6.5 deep snare that goes with it. So I was using that for the last probably 15 years. And then about mid last year, I saw on Facebook Marketplace some guy was selling a 6-piece, just shells, for like $1,200. Yeah. And I was like, Jesus, that's like worth $2,200 at least.
You didn't tell him that.
Right? I did not tell him that. So I just put the bid in and I said, I'll take them. And he's like, okay, great. And what they are is, it's a combination of the kit that I had before. The mahogany kit was a birch kit.
Okay. Yep.
The old classic 80s kit. And so this kit is a combination of mahogany and birch.
Oh, nice.
And the birch is on the outside, mahogany is on the inside. So it's got the warm, but it's also got a bright.
Yep.
And so it was a bit more on the pop side than the rootsy side. Mm-hmm. And I just thought I wanted to better enable myself on a 6-piece that I hadn't done in a while. My 6-piece kit was my birch kit.
Yep.
So for 15 years, I only ever played a 4-piece.
Yep.
And at one time, Miles was like, oh, it's not too many drums there. And, and I was like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I should learn to play a bigger kit again. Because it's been such a long time. Yeah. And I'm doing lots of pop recordings now, too. So it's just to have that 10, right? And you got your 12. And the 14, which I haven't used in a long time, I put a 441 Sennheiser on it. Yeah. And, man, that thing sings.
14s are...
sings.
And you're obviously talking floor tom.
Floor tom.
And 14s are interesting because I've used the 14 a lot. I've actually used an 18. 16... kind of I never had until I had my Mapex kit, so I have a 14, 16.
Yeah.
The thing about 14s that I really like, you can make it sound huge or you can make it sound short and snappy, and it's really a versatile drum.
Yeah, it's my favorite drum to hit right now.
Yeah.
Besides the 10.
Yeah, well, 10's nice too, right?
Problem is with having the 6, well, you got 4 tom-toms. When you go to do rolls now, it's like I have to be aware not to play the same bloody rolls or in the same sequence, because it's all there, and then you listen to your recording, I'm like, oh, every roll starts with this drum, that drum, this drum, that drum. So it's like now I have to. Like, I've seen guys take the 10 and 12 and reverse them.
That's cool.
So you can't
like a Kenny Aronoff sort of thing.
Yeah.
And just so you know too, dirty little secret: if you're playing easy songs and there's like the same fill every time, well, you can just play one pass and punch it in. Ooh, that's anyway, that's kind of cheating, but whatever. If you're a Sabian guy.
I'm a Sabian guy, Regal Tip, and Remo.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you rocking for the
Sabians? I have the HHX.
Yep.
I had the original ones, which are just HHX, and they've got like a raw bell.
Okay. Beautiful.
Love them. 15-inch hi-hats.
15. So our buddy Jeff McPherson bought a set of 16-inch hi-hats.
Oh.
And he loves them. Jeff loves that funky kind of Steve Jordan sort of thing.
So big.
I'd
be bumping my knees on it.
I tell you, I kept hitting my shoulder when I was at Jeff's. I mean, 13s. I get a bad habit. Anybody comes to see me play, come and ask me after the show. I get a bad habit of hitting my knuckle all the time on my hi-hats. Okay. Yeah. I do it every show, and it's just, you think I would figure it out.
My favorite is when the tip of your stick hits your thumb.
I love that one. Or cracking your knuckle on the snare.
On the rim?
The rim. That's beautiful, too. See, we're tough, right? We don't get to play, and when we do, this is what you get to see, right?
So one time, back in high school, I'm jamming with some guys. We all got a little bit of weed going, and I've never done it. I had beautiful white painter pants on. And we're jamming, I didn't really notice, and then I'm like, every knuckle was bloodied, and then I look at my pants, and it's like, whoosh,
well, that's good. Then you can play in a rack cover band, right? So it's all good, right?
I started the trend.
Yeah, well, listen, man. I mean, I remember the nylon pants with the zippers. They were pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
So you're using the Sabian guys, so that's cool. And,
yeah, but just to update the Sabian thing, I got the first set with the raw bell, and then I found a splash symbol that said HHX Evolution. And the minute I heard it, I think we were at Harvest Festival and they were handing them out. The minute I heard that, I was like, I need a whole set of those.
I could be wrong, so fact check me on this, but I think that's the Sabian brand that Neil Peart.
No, it was Dave Weckl.
Dave Weckl.
Dave Weckl.
He's all right.
Dave Weckl helped them create the Evolution series. And the cool thing was, when I ordered the China symbol, they said, well, we don't offer the China symbol in that. And they're like, but we did make 3 for Dave Weckl.
You want one?
We'll give you one of those. And I'm like, yeah!
I was telling a story. I went to the Sabian plant one time, and the day that I was there, they were making a set of cymbals for Phil Collins and Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses. If you've ever been through the plant, there's like 18 or 19 steps. It starts out like a blob, and the last guy is the guy with the rubber glove, and if it doesn't, he's like Inspector 13 with the Fruit of the Loom fan. Yeah. If it doesn't pass, it goes into this big room that's the size of Monty's, and they melt them all back down. And I was like, give me 1 or 2 for it. They won't do it, right?
Yeah.
But they are very good at replacing stuff, so long as you break it properly.
Yeah.
So long as you break it properly. Yeah. Go around and across.
Yeah, that's how I started my Sabian endorsement deal. I kept bugging a guy named Peter Stairs when he was...
Peter's still there.
He's still there.
Yeah.
He was artist relation at the time.
Yeah.
I bugged him for like 4 years. I'm like, dude, I want to be a Sabian endorser. Yeah. Like, I'm using them my whole life. He's like, tell you what, if you have any broken cymbals, send them in, and then that will start the process. And that's kind of how.
And they're amazing at that. They really are. Yeah. And they're a good. And
they just melt them down, right?
Well, we had Andy Zildjian on the show, who now he's in New York, but he runs Sabian, and he told us the story about his dad and his uncle, the Habs and Leafs, where they basically break up Zildjian and they start Sabian, and that place employs hundreds of people in Bandtalk, right? So it's very cool. I've been to Fredericton probably 9 times in the last 2 years, and I've not got off my butt to get. It's a 45-minute drive. I'm going to go the next time. It's a cool spot.
What I find is anytime I'm going through, it's like beyond the time that they'd be open.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've been in there twice now.
It's a great spot.
Back and forth.
It's a great spot. So again, we started this little segment because somebody said, well, drummers are getting a raw deal. I don't know when this is going to air, but today is Wednesday the 26th, I believe. Yeah. Second anniversary of Kobe Bryant and his daughter passing away. I just found that out when I was sitting at the table. Yeah. That being said, I don't know when this is going to air, but there was an announcement today by the good doctor and the premier. Wasn't a lot of great news for you and I, other than the fact that it's looking like 2 weeks that full bands will be back. Yeah. I'm going to say something that's totally Sean, not Tom, but there was a question that was asked to the premier. Gentleman by the name of Paul Bacon, I believe his name, allnovascotia.com, and he basically said, when you were in opposition, you hounded the Liberals about what you guys were going to do to get back, and now it doesn't seem like you're doing any more than what they did. And his answer, go look it up, I'm not going to call him out, but it wasn't a great answer. Yeah. That being said, Predictions on what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I'm just going to book myself
Yeah.
as a drummer
Yeah.
in the bar and just jam my drums all night.
Well,
One guy, no singing, right?
I said I was going to go
That's
up
the solution.
there. I was going to play drums in the kazoo.
Give the drummer something.
Right.
I don't know, kazoo will pass, though, because you're blowing air, right?
Maybe, but I'm one performer. Now, I will tell you, a friend of ours was playing upstairs last Friday night, and Monday of last week he sends a note. What are the rules? And they come back and they say, one performer on stage. On stage, they say.
Yeah.
So he sends an email. What if my bass player sits in the audience and plays? They come back, one performer per room. So they're
Changing the goalposts.
playing
as they
fast
go.
and loose with the rules. And what I will say is we're here in Monty's, and I tell you, there's been no safer place since all this stuff started. Nancy does it right. I keep
Yeah, I've been
challenging
here a
these
few
things.
times.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tom was not coached in any way. I will not be handing him any money off the screen.
What? I don't get paid for this?
No, absolutely not. You get paid in.
I got a glass of water.
Yeah, you got water, and we'll get you a bag of M&Ms or something.
Oh,
But these folks need to come down and see what Nancy's doing, because I really think that she could be showing these guys that shutting everything down is not always the way for every spot. So, anyway, Mr. Tom Bona, thanks a lot for doing this, man.
Yeah.
You have just before we go, so you have the recording with Miles. You're doing some other recording. Anything else that you want to get out there before we leave?
Well, I'm recording with my uncle. We've been doing that for a long while now, Paul Ison.
Mr. Paul Ison, who's
we've
been on the show.
We're doing like a family recording,
Nice.
like with his son and my sisters and Doug Sampson. And, so we're doing that kind of a project. I'm working on a project with my sisters for 3 vocals called Bona Voice.
Nice.
Stuff that we do. And I've been writing my own songs and recording them too. And, at some point I'll have my own release.
That's awesome.
We went up to Paul's house.
We went up to Paul's house when we
Yeah.
everything was Hollywood out there, right? And beautiful house. He built it himself.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. So anyway, say hi to him. He was a hoot the night that we were out there. He's out in, is it Muscatine?
It's East Chesapeake.
Okay, he's out that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah.
We got to do it again sometime real soon. Why don't we do this? We'll make a note in a month's time for you and I to come back and find out if the drummers are faring any better. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we will. I'll tell you what I'm going to do too. Dr. Strang, Tim Houston, you'll be on the guest list the first show we come back.
That's right.
You better come out.
Invite them in and let them see how safe it is.
Thanks, my man.
All right, thank you.
See ya.